going to go over the multi-response grid and the command and questionnaire building. When you're building a new questionnaire, you're going to go home, you're going to questionnaire, name it. To start a questionnaire, you can click the plus sign, basic questions, your multi-response grid. So basically the way a multi-response grid is, you could have multiple choices and they basically act like a true false. If you click it, it's true. If you don't click it, it's false, or a yes, no type of thing. This is what your command looks like. You have your label at the top, which is Q1, your basic and advanced tabs, and then you have your available response choices. I do recommend changing your label. It always is going to start off with Q1, Q2, Q3. If you're looking at your view responses afterwards in this study, that's where you see all of your panelists' answers. You don't need to know what Q1 is if you know if you label your command to what Q1 is. In this case, I am going to do, I know what I'm naming this, so I'm going to call it games. Okay, I'm going to enter. And now it's going to ask me if I want to rename the children. So the children are actually my responses to this. So where it says Q1_1, I'm going to click yes. And it's going to change it. I actually do recommend changing this. I also recommend if you're doing a multi-response, try to keep this as short as possible so that you can see what's after this. You do have the ability to rename this part as well, and you'll see that in a second. You could type in any question and add answers like 1, 2, 3. That's fine. You also, like with the get response, you have the ability to paste in choices. So if somebody gave you a Word document with a bunch of choices or a bunch of brands, you could I'm sorry, let's try that again. Okay, I'm just going to remove what the existing and insert these. So you could see if there were answers there. Again, you could type them in like I just did as well. Instead of doing it one by one, it's so much easier to do the paste in choices and type it there if you needed to. Or you could actually paste in your choices there. Either way is fine. What you also have the ability to do, if you're asking a question that you already have in your database, such as if it's a product, if it's a certain brand, or in this game, I'm going to do types of games. Types of games really enjoyed. What it does, it actually fills in all the answers. So you don't have to retype any of this information. Even if it's copying and pasting, at least it is already there. So let's just say now it's like, this is great. I don't have to worry about it, but I want to know horror. I have some actually follow-up questions for who these people are. So because we have a new game coming out that we want to invite people who like horror games, we're going to invite them to look at this. So I'm going to rename it instead of being _20 to _horror. I think that's what I'm calling it. Now let's just see, is there anything else I want? You know what? I also have another new game for people who do puzzles. So, okay. So now I'm going to write okay. So I'm going to tell them to choose as many as I want. I want to make sure they choose at least one. How do I do that? I'm going to go into this Advanced tab. So in Advanced, this is where we set our default so that it's choosing the database. Now, what this will also do is if this was like in your Join Now or your initial profile question, anything that was chosen is going to pop up here. So they have the ability to keep those and add more or remove them or however they want to do it to update it. The question you're probably thinking to yourself right now is, at least I would, is, oh, does that update the database as well? The answer to that question is no, but you do have the ability to add a data link in after this question that could update it if you wanted to. So here you're seeing that the true value is 1 and the false value is 2. Again, it is a true false or a yes no. If you wanted to change it to 0, you could do that as well, the false value. Minimum response is saying 0. What this means is if you did not change this, somebody could skip this question completely because there's no responses needed. I do want to change that to 1. And it's saying the maximum response is 27. So that somebody could choose all of them, and that's absolutely fine. And I'm going to leave it at that for now. And I am going to click the save button. So you'll notice I'm going from that exclamation point, and I'm going to get my green check as soon as it saves. It was at an exclamation point because I had no questions in my questionnaire. I now do. I am going to change this from a checkbox to a selection box. And just so you see, I am just going to do a preview real fast so that we can view it in the web browser. Just so you could see what the selection box looks like. You do have the ability to change it there. Sometimes it's nice just to mix it up for the panelists so it just gives them a different view of things instead of having multiple checkboxes to fill out. This is a lot easier. And I don't know about you, sometimes I have problems filling out checkboxes. Okay, so there's that. The one other thing I wanted to show you is by changing the name, if we were doing a filter based on horror or puzzles, you can see how much easier it is to pull them out instead of looking for games underscore 20 or games underscore 23. If you were doing a true, sorry, I just noticed that it didn't take out the 1-1. If you were doing a true data link, I would actually rename all of them so that when you were doing the data link, and I just want to show you that real fast, it would be under panelist data link. It would be panelist, which is where your attributes are. I just want to show you what it looks like when you're doing multiple, when you have a multi-response. Again, it does act like yes, no, or multiple. So each one of these is different. So if I went down to puzzle, I would then know to match that up with puzzle. And then I could add that. So you would do that for each one of those to set up the data link. Anyway, I hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions, please reach out to ARCS support. Thanks. Have a great day.